A true international field here at Donington for the first round of the World of Sport Superbike Challenge for 1981. There are riders from America, Japan and the United Kingdom, and riders competing have won 11 World Championships between them and also 8 British Championships. And setting out in pole position there is Graham Crosby, the 1980 TT Formula One champion, and he lapped in practice at 1 minute 24.5. The New Zealander is fastest in practice. Number 7, Barry Sheene, riding this year the Works Yamahas, and he's out to prove that he can bring the title back to Britain. The 500cc world title, that is, that he held in 1976 and 1977. Next to him we have number 8, Corky Ballantyne, on the new 500 Kawasaki machine. He was third fastest in practice in 1 minute 25.1. If those times sound a little bit slow, let me tell you that this morning when practicing was timed, it was misty and the track was very, very damp indeed. So they're slower than they normally would be, but they're going to get quicker as this race progresses. We have every confidence in that. Number 30, the surprise package of racing so far this season, Wayne Gardner from New South Wales in Australia, 21-year-old rider who last week won the overall Superbike round and really got among the big boys. Wayne Gardner, a man to look out for on a sit-up-and-beg Kawasaki. And there's the world champion in the 500 class for the past 3 seasons, Kenny Roberts from California, bearing quite rightly that number 1 plate. And interesting to note that he now is the teammate of Barry Sheene. They're riding identical Yamahas this season. Number 2, the local favourite here at Donington, Rocket Ron Haslam from Langley Mills. There's number 3, Randy Mamola from Santa Clara in California, the Wheelie King, second in the World Championship last year, 500 class, and many people's tip for the championship this year. Randy Mamola, a real up-and-coming star who's right there in the top bracket. And there's Mick Grant from Wakefield, number 10, that away on their warm-up lap, and with me is Phil Reed. Phil, this looks like being a battle for the Grand Prix, doesn't it, with the new Grand Prix machines on view?
Well, it certainly does, Peter, and this is a really exciting entry with all the top-class Grand Prix riders here. A very important event for them to get some psychological advantage over each other, and especially super interesting to see Corky Ballantyne on the new 500 Kawasaki, who this year is really making a big effort for the World Championship.
So really, we've got the new Yamahas, we've got the new Suzukis, and we've also got that new Kawasaki.
Yes, Peter, they're all lighter and more powerful, and I hope Randy sort of managed to keep that front wheel on the ground. You know, last year he fell off through doing it too much.
Barry Sheene, of course, is really desperate to come back. I noticed a quote from him in the paper this week said, "People have told me I've been over the hill so many times I'm seasick." But I think he's determined this year, isn't he, to really have a go for that championship.
Well, he had a really bad season last year running his private machines, but now he's got the equal machines too, Kenny Roberts, and will be in with a good chance, and he has fantastic experience. And as proved last year when he picked the right tires to win easily one of these World of Sport races. But he is struggling a bit this year with the new Michelin tyres. And actually, he's tossed a coin to decide which tyres to use before the race. So let's hope he's picked the right ones.
Well, I wonder indeed if this is an omen that first back after the warm-up lap is number 1, Kenny Roberts, who won, in fact, practically every type of motorcycle racing in America to get the number 1 plate. And he really is a tremendous rider indeed. In fact, the front row of the grid is the who's who of motorcycle racing. Mick Grant there, number 10, a very wily campaigner from Wakefield in Yorkshire. And very, very happy indeed with that machine he's riding today, the 998 Suzuki. It's his Formula One machine. Phil.
Yeah, fantastic machine. It's lucky yesterday the conditions are stable and they're all on slick tyres, so let's hope that they will manage to do one lap and create an exciting race.
Well, any second now, the lights will be changing from red to green, and the 16-lap race will be underway. A distance of 31.34 miles, and they're away. And the charge of the light brigade, it looks like Rocket Ron Haslam, number 2, and Mick Grant, number 10, have made good starts. But number 8, Cork Ballantyne. And there's number 30, the sit-up-and-beg model of Wayne Gardner. Rocket Ron Haslam with a big Honda going outside Corky Ballantyne. Mick Grant well up there, and Wayne Gardner tucked in 4th place. Into Redgate Corner, a second gear corner at round about 80 miles an hour. It's still Haslam from Ballantyne, and Gardner's in there in 3rd place. Around Hollywood, train of curves down now to the old hairpin. And Ron Haslam it is with and Bellington goes through on the inside, and there's the rest of the field. Number 1, Kenny Roberts, a slow start for him, but starting to move through now, and Randy Mamola's right with him. It's Cork Bellington on the 500cc Kawasaki, double world champion in 78 and 79 on 250 and 350 machines. Now he's in the big ones. Wayne Gardner's there, but it's Cork Bellington that's holding the lead as they come up now to Copper's Corner on this first lap, a 16-lap race. Bellington around safely on that new Kawasaki. Ron Haslam is in there, Wayne Gardner, and that looked like Barry Sheene moving up through the field as well as the rest of the field stream through now. But Bellington, as they come under the bridge, opening up a fair gap into the chicane where they drop down to about 45 miles an hour. Bellington is through. Cork Bellington, a South African double world champion, out now for a 500cc world championship. And there the field stream by at the end of lap 1. Cork Bellington still leading. Number 2, Haslam was second. Barry Sheene was third. Gardner followed by Graham Crosby, and in 6th place with number 18, Graham Wood, at the end of lap 1. But Bellington really opening up a gap here, and now it's Ron Haslam in 2nd place who's under pressure. That's Bellington, number 8, with the 500 Kawasaki, the race leader on lap 2. A quick look over his shoulder as he disappears under Starkey's Bridge. And we're told that Roger Marshall, runner-up in the championship last year overall, is out of this particular round. Disappointment there for Roger Marshall, but not for Cork Bellington. He's still leading, and Barry Sheene there, just a glimpse of him as he came up into 2nd place. This is Bellington. Perfect style on that machine. You see just hanging off the side of the machine, using almost every inch of the road, and now on the fastest part of the circuit where they click up into 6th gear and reach round about 150 miles an hour before breaking down through the gearbox, down to 1st gear, 45 miles an hour, and swinging it through the chicane and tucking right down behind that fairing. It's Barry Sheene that's up into 2nd place. Number 7, Barry Sheene is 2nd, and number 4, Graham Crosby, is in 3rd place. So we've got the Kawasaki, then the Yamaha, and then the Suzuki, the 3 Works Grand Prix machines for this year in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Phil, Bellington out in front. Is that a surprise to you?
Well, yes, it is, Pete. It's fantastic performance. You can see that the front wheel is actually pattering over the corners. You know, this is the one with the extra fairing, which the other team's trying to ban. But it doesn't seem to be slowing him down at all. But I expect Sheene and Crosby will wear him down a bit over the next few laps.
And there's one of the riders down. In fact, 2 have been involved there, and that's Kenny Roberts has stopped. Kenny Roberts has stopped to help a rider here. The incident happened, and just let's get a check on who that rider is. In actual fact, there was a spill, but we haven't got an identification of the rider down. But we're back now with the leaders, and almost there someone else went, but that's Bellington, the man who's leading, number 8, Cork Bellington. So and there was number 6, we're told, that came off, Steve Parrish. That's the machine. Number 6, Steve Parrish, riding the 500 Yamaha. That's the machine. And Kenny Roberts immediately stopping to help him. But we're back now with the leaders, and it's Cork Bellington still. Then number 7, Barry Sheene, still in 2nd place. Barry, of course, won practically every championship, every honour there is in motorcycle racing. And Graham Crosby is still holding on to that 3rd place. The familiar style there of Barry Sheene with the 500cc Yamaha, the brand new machine for Grand Prix racing this year after the championship. And he's now got Cork Bellington in his sights, so they disappear under Starkey's Bridge and into McLean's Corner. And I think Barry Sheene just closing in the 1st and 2nd, number 8, Cork Bellington, and number 7, Barry Sheene, pulling ahead now of number 4, the 3rd place man, up now to Copper's Corner, a 3rd gear corner, around about 70 miles an hour. And we just heard that Alex George has also retired. Alex George is out of the event, but there's the 1st and 2nd. And Barry Sheene, I think, is just closing that gap. And let's get an opinion from Phil Reed.
Yeah, as I said, I thought that Barry would wear Corky down with that front wheel of Corky's. It's really pattering. You can see how much power Barry's putting on. The whole chassis is sort of twisting. And he's really trying. When he gets his head on the tank, he's really trying.
So that's 4 laps completed now, 1/4 distance. And Barry Sheene certainly is closing that gap on the 500 Yamaha. desperately wanting to win the 500cc World Championship back this year. He won it, remember, in 76 and 77, and he's after it in 1981. Chasing now Cork Ballington. Cork Ballington, as I said, a double world champion in the 250 and 350, but Barry Sheene is right there with him now. Ballington looks over his shoulder, shakes his head in disbelief, because Barry Sheene is really closing that gap now. They're coming down to McLean's corner, the right-hander, and number 8 Ballington and number 7 Sheene. When is Barry Sheene going to make his move? The front wheel of Ballington to Sheene just lifted a little there. They're up to Copper's corner now, and Barry Sheene really got him in his sights now and just sussing out where he can make his move. Is it going to be on the straight? Has he got the overall power over the Kawasaki? A little wheelie there as he comes down. Is he going to try and dive on the inside this time? No, perhaps just sussing out where he can get through. But Cork Ballington now really has the pressure because he knows it's Barry Sheene behind him. And it's still Graham Crosby holding on to third place, but this is the battle for first and second, and Barry Sheene really trying all he knows. The front wheel just wiggles now as he banks it into Redgate corner. Up now to third gear, around about 110 miles an hour before the plunge down to Hollywood. Through Craner curves, Ballington and Sheene. Down to the old hairpin. And along through Copperswood, under Starkey's Bridge, to McLean's corner. Second gear corner, run back 70 miles an hour, and Sheene has made his move, and he's through on the inside. Barry Sheene, a wheelie there, but Ballington can come back at him. But Barry Sheene there has made his move, and it'll be interesting now, Phil, to see if he can increase his lead, because was he playing a little bit of cat and mouse to find out where he could pass?
Well, I think he was struggling to see which bit of the road to use to pass Corky, but now he's really got to get his finger out because Cros obviously, you can see, is pushing him. Now, obviously, Barry's made the right choice on tyres. I don't think he'll hang about.
He is indeed, and he's leading now and increasing that lead slightly, but Ballington's staying with him. I can tell the fans of Steve Henshaw and Steve Manship, they're both out of this race, but not these two. And we're told Randy Mamola has in actual fact stopped on the circuit, and he's with the injured person as we saw Kenny Roberts stop. So Randy Mamola and Kenny Roberts both stopped at that instance where number 6, Steve Parrish, and Graham Wood is out in 4th place. But this is the leader, Barry Sheene, number 7, number 8, Ballington. Under Starkey's Bridge. 6 laps have been completed. They're on lap number 7. Sheene easing from side to side on this machine. And Wayne Gardner, we're told, is up into 4th position, and Graham Crosby is closing. Barry Sheene now ahead of Ballington, but Crosby closing up. So we've got the 3 Grand Prix riders. Barry Sheene with the Yamaha, Cork Ballington with the Kawasaki, and in 3rd place, Graham Crosby with the Suzuki, and Wayne Gardner up into 4th place. But it's Barry Sheene now and Cork Ballington into the chicane, 45 miles an hour before accelerating up through the gearbox, 3rd, 4th, 5th gear, and up to around about 130 miles an hour. Ballington looks over his shoulder and he sees Graham Crosby. See the way they're changing down, really punching those gears in. The front wheel of Ballington's machine bobbles as he chases Barry Sheene, and Graham Crosby in 3rd place. And Barry perhaps not pulling away, Phil, as much as we thought he might from Cork Ballington.
Well, Graham Crosby's pulled the gap back to about 3 seconds now. But Corky is doing fantastically well, considering that he is not used to riding such big machines. I mean, he's 250 and 350 world champion of 2 years ago. But
and he's really mixing it now with the boys who are used to the 500s.
Well, that's right. And I'm sure when they get this machine sorted out for this season, it'll be a real challenge to the established Grand Prix style.
Copper's corner now then, with Barry Sheene leading Cork Ballington. Around there at round about 80 miles an hour, down now to the fastest part of the circuit. If they reach 6th gear, around about 150 miles an hour, just over that little rise in the road. But Barry Sheene really determined, as you can see, tucked right behind that fairing, changing down through the gearbox. And we're coming up now to half distance, 8 laps completed. And at half distance, the leader is that man, number 7, Barry Sheen. Ballington again looks over his shoulder, and he sees Graham Crosby, number 4, closing the gap. But Ballington now right on the tail of Barry Sheen, and these three could really get very close together in the not-too-distant future.